Hey everybody, today I want to do a reading from GI Combat number 178. There's an article and a story that I want to read to you from here. The story is called Face of the Enemy. It has art by Ric Estrada and story by Bob Kanigher. And then there's the letters page where there's an article about Ric Estrada. This is fire control. Your target is on the grid map. Coordinates 130K, 116N. Commence firing at 0615 hours. Message received. Over and out. Spotter reports were 200 short and 100 right of target. Adjust and fire. The artillery piece was a 155mm, affectionately nicknamed Long Tom, for it could blast the enemy miles away. Yes, every cannoneer blessed it, except one gunner. He hated it. Face of the enemy. Fire for effect! Fire! Firing this piece sure ain't my idea of war. This ain't war, it's arithmetic, fighting by numbers. I fire by coordinates on a map and targets 12 miles away. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a whole war without ever once seeing the enemy. I'm no soldier, I'm just a piece of equipment. Kraut tank! Wiped out everybody! Except me. Tank's about half a mile away. Gives me enough time to load, set the range, yank the lanyard, and fire! Direct hit! So what? All I did was fight a chunk of machinery. I'm still fighting a long-range war, still pushing buttons and making like a piece of equipment. I'll never see who I'm fighting. The face of the enemy. The crowd slipped up behind me. The gunner got his wish. He finally saw the face of the enemy, but it was the last face he would ever see. The end. Let's make tracks, letters. GI Bulletin Board. In an effort to acquaint you with the men behind the lines, or bylines if you will, thus far we've profiled Sam Glansman, Bob Haney and Bob Kanigher. Our current citation goes to Ric Estrada, who by now has become a household word to battle buffs. His inimitable pencil and penmanship has been displayed in virtually all of DC's catalogue of combat chronicles. Here, Ric is represented by the face of the enemy, in which he captured the proper poignancy and irony of a situation often developed in war. We ask Ric, slim, intense, and equally skillful in speech as well as with his brush, for some biographical tidbits. With machine gun precision, he fired back the following bursts. Born in Havana, Cuba, February 26, 1928, raised during the double chaos of the Depression and the Cuban Revolution of the 30s, learned an early respect for both bullets and butter. Weaned on the Sunday funnies, Kipling stories and movie serials, developed a flair for adventure. At one time, Tarzan, Terry and the Pirates, Mickey Mouse, Flash Gordon, the film version of Superman, and Mowgli the Jungle Boy were more real than the soldiers, terrorists and revolutionists milling about and shooting it out in the streets of Havana. They all left an impression. Studied art by first copying the Sunday funnies, then sending for a correspondence course, the London course from Cleveland, Ohio, which, years later, I discovered to be the alma mater of such luminaries as Milton Caniff and Bill Mauldin, among others. Attended San Alejandro Art School in Havana, but dropped out. All the guys wanted to paint murals, while my sole interest was the illustrated continuity. Studied philosophy at Havana University, hoping to become a professor and a writer. Dropped out too. Worked as a teenage journalist for a top Havana newspaper, caricaturing, visiting celebrities and politicians. Came to New York at 19. With 1 year began a long apprenticeship in comics, ranging from mysteries through romances to sports. Studied drawing, colour and design at the Art Students League. Along came Dan Barry with his Flash Gordon daily syndicated strip. He invited me to do his pencil artwork, a task I performed off and on as a ghost between 52 and 63. Flash Gordon was a great school. I've always been restless, lived in many different countries, England, Denmark, Greece, Germany, crossed the Middle East, Turkey, Palestine, Jordan, Syria on foot. I've also hitchhiked through North Africa and visited Ethiopia on a research trip. Worked as a journalist in Jerusalem, New York and West Berlin. As a TV and movie storyboard artist in Germany. Ran an art gallery on the Greek islands. Have taught art, languages, at one time could jabber in 5, and at present teach religion. Play hard too. Skin diving in the Caribbean. Stupidest thing I ever did was dive after a shark and nearly die of fright afterwards. Horseback riding, tennis, running, track and field extensively in school, and love swimming. Have 4 children, Zelia, 19, by a previous marriage, and Aaron, 3, Mark, 1.5, and Aleli, 3 weeks at this writing by my marriage to lovely Loretta. A Boer war, but find it a real experience that must be examined and chronicled, but never glorified. My philosophy, the Lord's. Love one another. Make war no more.